It's a wave that missed a quickie, oh yeah. Many people, believers or not, are unaware that the ending of the gospel attributed to Mark is a later addition. It doesn't appear in the earliest copies of the manuscript. That gospel originally ended with the women at the sepulchre running away terrified and telling no one anything. There are no post-resurrection appearances to anyone. All of the Gospels are anonymous. The names Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, George, Paul, and Ringo, they were added later, but Mark is generally agreed to be the earliest of the Gospels, and the manuscript used as the foundation for the Gospels of Matthew and Luke, who copied Mark almost entirely. Many scholars believe that the author of Matthew was writing his Gospel to persuade the Jews that Jesus was in fact the Messiah they'd been waiting for. Bloody Romans. He does this by quoting passages from the Hebrew Bible, which were thought by some to be prophecies of the coming Messiah. One of the most embarrassing parts of the entire Bible is found in Matthew, when the author, writing in Greek, uses a Greek mistranslation from Isaiah about a virgin with child. The original Hebrew never says virgin, but since a lot of popular leaders from the ancient world were born of a virgin, that translation worked. Despite all the theology piled on over the years and centuries, this really is the only reason we have the notion of a virgin birth headlining the Jesus story. There is a problem, though, for the author of Matthew and his attempt to convince the Jews that Jesus was their guy. The Jewish Messiah was, like virtually all messiahs, a conqueror. Someone who saves his oppressed people from their oppressors. Jesus' kingdom was not of this world, and as nice as that rhetorical device sounded, it was never going to convince anyone with knowledge of the Hebrew Bible. For the Jews, the Messiah still needed to bring an age of peace, where the lamb could lay down with the lion without having to take a benzodiazepine first. It was supposed to be an age of resurrection, not just for Jesus, but for all the dead, in some strains of Jewish thought. There was also to be the gathering of the Jews, including the 10 lost tribes, and a final judgment. Jesus left all of those boxes unchecked. The whole idea of a second coming sounds like something out of a Mr. Deity episode, where they learn after the fact that they forgot to shoot entire sections of their script. Crap. What are we going to do? Larry would suggest they have Jesse return to shoot some pickups. Of course, they don't have the budget to do that, do they? So they spend the next 2,000 or perhaps 10,000 years trying to raise the funds. Or maybe they just nixed the idea altogether. For the Jews, there were much bigger problems. The idea of God becoming a human was just, well, gross. And not just for all the petty reasons you're thinking of right now. Yeah. Ugh. Theologically speaking, that idea was simply untenable. It still is. And it just doesn't make any sense that a God who abandoned us just because he couldn't endure some fruit eaters would come down and hang with Republicans and sinners. I'm sorry, what? Publicans. And what's the difference? I see. One collects taxes, one does not. Gotcha. If you're one of those people waiting for Jesus to return, good luck with that, sincerely. As someone likewise engaged in an unlikely endeavor to rid the world of this nonsense, you have my deepest sympathies. And obviously, I'm hoping you're right to a certain extent. Having you folks raptured for 1,000 years would accomplish my goals as well, at least partially. Maybe Jesus could return again and take the Scientologists and the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, everybody else. If you see him, have him give me a ring. Once again, I'm me. Thanks for watching.